Our next guest says in 2000, he repeatedly tried to warn the FBI about a terror cell in the country that included the 9/11 attack leader, but was blocked from delivering the information. That attack leader was Mohammed Atta.
Lieutenant Colonel Anthony Shaffer is a U.S. Army intelligence officer who served as an Able Danger support team member. Joining us from D.C. right now. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Well, we've got the gist of the information that you all were able to sift through public records and come up with something that pinpointed, that ID'd a couple of the eventual 9/11 attackers.
That's correct.
The information was not put into the 9/11 Commission report. You were not allowed to pass it on to the FBI. From your vantage point now, where do you think the biggest breakdown occurred, and has it been fixed?
Well, I do believe the breakdown that happened between Special Operations Command and moving information from them to FBI has been fixed. I think if this happened again today, based on the current policies in place, the chances are significant. I'd say near 100% the information will be passed. But don't forget, as James Woolsey said a few days ago on, I believe, your show, these guys adapt very quickly. They figure out what we're doing because they listen to Fox and Friends and everybody else. So it's important that we find a way to stay ahead of them. So that's where we're not convinced everything's being done, and that's why we're trying to bring back certain technologies which would enable us to do a better job of staying one step ahead of them. Second breakdown was when we, not just me, provided this information to the 9/11 Commission and asked them to look at it. And that's where Congressman Walden got involved. My lawyer, Mark Zaid, is now involved, trying to help sort through this, who shot John, and what happened when the breakdowns.
Colonel, if it seems as though the 9/11 commissioners and the staffers are covering their butts for the last few weeks, Able Danger comes out, Curt Weldon talks about it, and they just say, oh, they never told us, they never brought Mohammed Atta's name. If they didn't have these fervent denials, would you have come out of the woodwork and told your story?
No. I did what I do for about 22 years, and I enjoyed it. It was a blast. And I wish I could talk about everything I did, but most of it's still highly classified. But the thing was, there came a time when I was encouraged by Congress, by my friends in DOD, to get the word out, because a lot of folks in DOD were looking bad about this. And I know for a fact DOD is doing everything it can to get to the bottom of this right now. We met with Dr. Cambone, the Undersecretary of Defense for Intelligence, General Schwartz, the Director of the Joint Staff, and right now they're doing everything they can to resolve this and get to the real nug of it and be positive about it.
You're mentioning the Department of Defense. Some people within the DOD asked you to really make this more known. What is their greatest concern that has not been either addressed or has been addressed and they don't think it's been fixed correctly?
Well, I don't know if I can address what DOD's policy is on that. I mean, my judgment based on what I was asked to do, I was asked to help the Navy put together a follow-on technology which was related to some of the Able Danger technology relating to data mining. Mm-hmm. And you alluded to that, Edie, when you talked about the what we did with open source data.
Right.
And that's where we're trying to figure out a way to enhance that technology, because we know it worked. This is not the only operation where we're using open data to be the catalyst for going and launching highly classified operations.
Colonel, stay right there. A few more questions for you. I'll take a short time out. All right, coming up straight ahead, on story right now, when we talk about intelligence fighting the war on terror, is Able Danger. And what did Able Danger do that we're not doing now, perhaps, to unearth cells within our country? They had Mohammed Atta. They knew 2 of the 3 cells that perpetrated 9/11, but they weren't able to come forward with us. With us right now, still with us, Lieutenant Colonel Anthony Shaffer, who's now coming forward to tell his side of the story. Why isn't the 9/11 Commissioner, why are they backpedaling? Why are they trying to change history about Able Danger, and why it wasn't included in the final report?
Well, that I don't understand, because I kept a copy of my talking points from my first meeting with Dr. Zelikow at Bagram.
And who's he?
I'm sorry?
Who's he?
Mr. Zelikow was the staff director of the 9/11 Commission staff. And what I did is present to him essentially a timeline and a background via these talking points. He was so interested, he gave me his card and asked me to come back to the United States when I came back, and please contact him, because he wanted to continue the dialogue. Why we didn't, I don't know, because I got back, called him the first week of January after I came off leave, and initially he said, yeah, we want to talk to you. A week goes by, they don't call me back, and then I call them again, and they say, no, we don't need to talk to you. We have all the information we need on Able Danger. Thank you very much. So I don't know what led to that. I have no idea.
Where are we now? Are you aware of more potential cells operating within the United States? And is there a group like yours which has since been abandoned, but a group now like yours that is working on identifying those.
Right. Well, the NCTC is probably the closest thing to what we were doing, and they are truly looking at, all sources of information to come to whatever information they can to identify these groups. What we're arguing to do, and what we'd like to do, and we can't find a resident capability which currently exists, is resurrect this open data mining super search capability that existed in Able Danger. That was where this all popped up. I've got a lot of questions about why now. The reason why this came up is because we started researching why this capability doesn't exist now, and how do we bring it back? And that's when we talked to Congressman Rowland about funding. He started asking some hard questions about the original Able Danger. He checked with the commissioners. They've never heard about it, so that's why this all came up now.
Interesting. All right. We appreciate your time this morning.
Thank
Lieutenant
you.
Colonel Anthony Schaefer, U.S. Army Intelligence Officer.
And we'll be talking to him again, hopefully.
Well, in the Mideast,